In Oklahoma, we used to be able to go online and verify this, but I don't know if I told you guys. You know what happened to Texas with those corn websites? Yeah. It happened in Oklahoma.
Oh.
With very little warning. And I saw it, and it was like 3 days left, and you're going to lose access. And I was like, this must be a joke.
I found the countdown. I was like, 10 days. 10, 9, 8.
Yeah, so.
I did not know this.
I can't give my friends in Texas a hard time anymore because now I live in a repressive state that doesn't care about my rights as a man.
Mm-hmm. Adult websites, you have to now put a photo ID.
No, you can't even do that because they don't want you to do that, so you just can't get on it.
Oh.
Yeah.
So it's just done in Oklahoma?
There's one left that is like under the radar that I chatted with my Texas friends, and they were like, this one kind of sucks, but here it is. And it's better than nothing.
I imagine you're like in the zone right at that moment, and you're like, guys, help.
No, like my first thing was like, I'm displeased. It's not as good as the standard one, but then I quickly realized that it's this or nothing, and I'm not going to complain. So I don't want to say which one it is in case the authorities are watching.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense.
Governor Stitt might be watching right now, and if he finds out, he's going to shut it down.
He's going to be so mad.
Yeah, so.
So the Corn Hub is shut down?
Yeah, Corn Hub is gone, and so is UCorn. You didn't know about UCorn? No. That was the original. That was the OG.
Oh.
Corn Hub was a copy of UCorn.
Oh.
But better.
This is more than I wanted to know.
It was good to see you.
This is a lot of things.
Yeah.
And I am going to leave.
Bye, babe.
That's a shame.
All right.
Anyhow, welcome.
What?
Is that not how it goes?
No. You guys are going to get canceled real fast. Do not say that.
Hi, everyone.
Hello.
Welcome to That GD Podcast. I'm joined with my good friends Kyle.
Hey.
And Andy.
Hello.
And we're coming here to talk to you about some random nonsense that we don't really know what it's going to be. Thanks for tuning in.
I found out because friends told me. I didn't go to the sites.
I did find that out as well. So for those of you in Oklahoma, seems like we're going to... There we go. That's a good one.
Yep. Good arch.
Good arch. We're going to do our little sound bite real quick.
3, 2.
In the microphone.
Every time.
Every week.
3, 2, 1.
That doesn't give the cling that we used to get.
No, but
it'll work.
You'll see this fight.
Hey, can I provide a medical update to a previous episode real quick?
Is it Trevor Lawrence still sucks?
Man, Trevor Lawrence. I won one of my games this week, but not both of them. No, so I ended up watching football with people, one of which was a boy dad, the other of which was a she's not a nurse. It's Megan. You guys know Megan. She's not a nurse, but she's in the medical field. And we were talking SPL, and then the topic of at birth checking, and very like almost like duh. She was like, yeah, they check that at birth. Like they have to check all the pieces to make sure they're moving right and that they're detached where they should be. So like she was saying that the standard when they take them over to that little tray and wipe them down in the Tupperware, that like that they're wiping them down, but they're also running through a checklist that like the arm bends this way, the knee bends this way, the penis stretches out and is not webbed, and like it's like they're not even really. It's just a system of what they run through real quick, and only if there's an issue do they then like grab somebody else to do further inspection. But there's a little quick like full body inspection as they're wiping them down to make sure things are moving like they should, and She said that, oh, yeah, no, they definitely do it. And then the boy dad was like, yeah, no, they definitely do that at birth. So They seemed like I was dumb for thinking they're not stretching baby dicks at birth.
Okay.
Apparently this is common. So
Well, we're girl dads.
Yeah. So
How do you feel about that, Kyle?
I still don't know, like, I don't know what the resolution is.
You
like,
just
cool, didn't go as far as it should have.
You mentally prepare the parent.
I guess once again, this feels like a parent problem.
There we go. Some trash for you.
Thanks.
Brought a different bottle we haven't tried yet. I'm sure you guys have probably had it. Maybe not you, but Bullet Bourbon. It's like kind of a TX. It's good. It's not pricey.
It is good.
Okay.
So,
Cheap whiskey, Bullet Bourbon.
it's not
They're
cheap.
not cheap.
Like there's some cheap whiskey out there. This one's just middle of the road.
Cheap, yeah, not expensive.
More affordable.
Yes.
That was really good.
It was a good
sound. It was very nice in
Do you
my
want to
ears.
do it too?
Yeah.
Get that cork.
Mine was
That
squeaky.
That was like a premature cork popping. It's like he saw a pair of titties and it would whoop. Wink.
That's the teenager version.
Yeah, that was the Fast Times at Ridgemont High version.
I couldn't see how much I poured in here.
No, I poured too much.
We got some new glasses thanks to a coworker who shall remain nameless.
My favorite glass ever. It's got Care Bears with inappropriate language on them.
Swear Bears. You can check
Yeah,
the link in
Swear
the
Bears.
comments to their website and order if you want. But it's got a bunch of Swear Bears, like Fresh Out of Fucks or Fuck You. What's yours say?
I didn't know we were dropping the F-bomb on this show. Sorry. One of them says, smile, bitch. Fuck this shit. 0 fucks given.
Justin just spilled his while reading.
Yep. Okay. Well,
The best part is what the camera will be able to see when you take a drink.
what's on the bottom? I didn't even think about that.
Mine is 0 fucks given.
Oh, I was actually upset that mine didn't include one of my favorite words, and it does at the bottom. So
I had to check.
it's got the C word on the bottom. Yeah,
I had to
so-
check.
Anywho,
Kyle's broke on the trip to delivery, so yours is being remade. You will have one next episode.
Next episode. No.
2 episodes.
Okay. Well, yeah.
Because I had to go pick it up from Kansas.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I don't have to go to Kansas to pick it up, but
You'll be in
they
Kansas.
live there and I will pick it up there.
That's fair.
these are imported. They're fine goods.
Imported. So anyway, I did 0 prep for this and had no topics. But you had one that we never discussed a while back.
Oh, really? I had a different one, but I can back shelf that. What's the one you're talking here?
The romantic failures.
Oh, yeah. Okay. So my question to the guys here and to you at home, have you ever tried to do something romantic, whether it be something that was like thought out over weeks or a spur of the moment, like it'll be real cute if I do this, and it's completely backfired, like immediate repercussions where you were only... So my story real quick, we got home, I think it was from recording this 2 or 3 weeks ago, and I was trying to get home before my wife went to bed. I failed. When I got home, she was clearly in bed. I opened the door and kind of checked. She's normally reading, and her light was off. So I don't even know what I was thinking, but I was like, I'm going to walk over and kiss her on the forehead while she's asleep.
Yeah.
I've seen that in movies. People do that. And to me, it seemed like even if she wakes up to me doing this, she'll be excited that I'm home, and she'll be like, oh, hello, you're home safe.
My handsome husband.
I kissed her on the forehead, and she like jump scared, like, ah! And like I startled the shit out of her, and she was pissed. She was like, what were you doing? And I was like, I immediately was like, I was trying to kiss you. I was trying to be sweet. I'm sorry. And she didn't calm down. Like the next morning, I was like, are we cool? And she was like, yeah, like I see what you were trying to do. But I thought I was about to do one of the more cute and romantic things I could do for my wife, and it 100% backfired. And there's only one other time in my life that I've tried to do something romantic, and it backfired then too, which is making me think that I should give up on it.
Better knock it off, man.
Yeah,
Just
I'll-
not romantic.
I have another story for my engagement, but have you guys ever had anything like that happen? Are you familiar with what I'm talking about?
Yeah. So quick aside,
Okay.
I kiss my wife on the forehead every morning before I go to work.
And she doesn't jump scare? Well,
The only complaints I get is your beard and or mustache tickled my nose or poked my eyes. So I've been trying to straighten it more. I didn't today so that it goes down and doesn't go into her face.
see, I think my wife has like a sleeping problem where she doesn't sleep well at all in any circumstances. So I should never do anything while she's sleeping is what I learned.
At least she didn't like wake up and immediately grab you in the junk to, like as a self-defense fight or flight.
I think her fists were clenched, like she was gonna throw a punch, and then she saw it was me.
My wife can sleep through absolutely anything, but if you do happen to wake her up, there's no good way to wake her up. Not a single thing you can do. You can't get the, hey, sweetie, hey, just letting you know that the house is on fire. No, it doesn't matter. It is full panic mode, and I am ready to fight you
Yep.
any given moment. And she's taller than me, so I'm pretty sure she could take me in a fit of rage.
Probably.
Yeah.
I think Morgan could take all three of us, not at the same time, but
No, we could beat her up 3-1.
But I think if she had the flu, she could whoop my ass. That's how strongly
She
I feel
got a
about
flu
it.
game?
Yeah, it'd be easy.
This
I'm sorry. I
Yeah,
was just thinking like
Yeah.
we could try. So just take all three of us. Different kind of take, but whatever.
I think she'd go for the weakest one first, which is me. Yeah, that'd be bad. I'm gonna run immediately.
Yeah, maybe.
I don't think that's where Justin was headed.
Nope. It's not. We're talking about
So one time I came home from college to visit the girl I was kind of seeing, not to visit her, but I didn't really tell her when I was coming home. She just knew I was coming home that weekend. So I went to her apartment, and she was not the only one there.
Okay, so that backfired, but in a different way. Like,
That was backfire, right?
Yeah,
I feel
that's
like
true,
that,
yeah.
I feel like that fits.
Did he fire on her back?
I'm certain that
like Kim
happened.
Kardashian.
Yeah. This is a great comeback story.
Was that one of those? Did she come running out like, baby, I swear it's not what you think? Or was it like, yeah, we're caught?
Yeah, no, it was. I think at that stage it was like I was doing my own thing at college. She was doing her own thing
Gotcha.
here, and it was like, all right, we're good.
It was pretty much a I'm home for the weekend booty call.
We're good here. I'm head out.
Yeah.
So for me, when I was first dating my wife, we went to the botanical gardens in Oklahoma City
Okay.
with another couple as like just kind of like a day trip down to Oklahoma City, go to the zoo and then the botanical gardens. And my wife had a great time. We took some pictures. One of my absolute favorite pictures that I have with Ainsley on my shoulders. And she's just like pulling my hair like a fiend. Anyway, so in my head, I'm thinking, cool. She likes botanical gardens. There's good photo opportunities. There's lots to do. Get some walking, some exercise, fresh air. All of this is great. Women like flowers. Neat. There is Amtrak that goes from Oklahoma City to Dallas. So I was going to surprise my wife with a trip on there. I had never been on a long train ride before.
Okay.
So it was the allure of like being like in Harry Potter where you have the snack carts in your own little area.
Yep.
Like that was a lot of fun. And so it was a surprise. We drove down to Oklahoma City. We parked at Amtrak, hopped on the Amtrak, and rode down to Dallas. Which, by the way, if you've never done a train trip with your family,
No,
fantastic.
Yeah.
it sounds good. I wish trains were more prevalent.
Yes. Like it's just alleviates all the stress because there's more room, tons of room between the seats, and the kids can kind of just be annoying to
I feel
other
like
parents.
security is not the same either. Like you don't have to show up 2 hours early to get on the train.
No, you just hop on. It's like when you get on the train at the zoo.
My train experience was very secure, but for our honeymoon, we went to Paris, and then we had like a extended stay hotel for a week in Paris. But in the middle of that trip, we went and did an overnight in Amsterdam, and we took the like the bullet train. I don't know what the brand was, but you're crossing country lines there. So like when I left France, I saw no security, and I was like, oh, like nothing here. We get to Amsterdam, and I start to question. There's stuff that's legal in Amsterdam that's not legal in France. And I was like, I could bring a little bit of this back. Like I could just stick it in my bag and take it back and have it while I'm in Paris too. And I ended up not doing it. But when we got back, like the inbound trains must be in a different part, like different terminal. But there was security at the ass. And I saw people on the ground with their suitcases getting gone through as they have like a boot on their back.
Jeez.
It was very serious. And I've never been more excited in my life to have not done that. But
Wow.
that train ride, I know Amtrak's not the same. We went from Paris to Amsterdam in like 90 minutes, doing like 220 miles an hour or something.
We got to figure
And
that out.
It was a luxurious ride, and this is 11 years ago, so I can't remember the exact price, but it was really cheap. It was $70 or $80. It was, not bad for a round trip to Amsterdam and back. So America needs to get on with the trains.
We got to figure that. Now I get it because you lay a map of Europe over America, and it's like,
Texas.
that's a lot different. Their countries are closer than our states are.
Yeah.
But still, it feels we built America on railroads a long, long time ago. You think we could figure out how to capitalize the railroad game? But I want to say that this is going to go like some deep state conspiracy theory stuff. I want to say that there's people that are against it that are not allowing it to happen.
Dude, so
They
whether
don't have the money in it.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like they got more money in big oil than they do in
Oil and airline industries are massive.
whether you like this guy or not, Joe Biden's Mr. I ride the train to Delaware every weekend type guy. And one of the things he said when he got elected is he wanted to revamp like the train rail system in our country. And everybody, including Democrats, laughed at him because they were like, why are we bringing back trains? So we're all sitting here like, wouldn't it be nice? But like the overwhelming majority of the country laughed at the idea of wasting any money getting Amtrak back up and running.
Just a ridiculous idea. No, it's not. I would love that, especially for it doesn't even have to be national so much. I can take a train to Kansas City that takes a train to Chicago, that takes a train to New York City if that's how I choose to travel. But just to be able to get to Kansas City for a soccer tournament, and not have to worry about anything else but that. Cool.
Yeah.
I'm all for it.
So I have a few questions. One, was that when you were coming back from Amsterdam to France, that was the happiest time you chose to keister something?
No, I guess
Put it in your
keystering
prison pocket.
keystering scares me. I wasn't about to try that, but I really based off. It's exactly like I went to Tijuana twice. My sister used to go to San Diego State University, and the first time we went across to TJ, when you're going into Tijuana, you do it at 80 miles an hour. You go under a bridge that says "Welcome to Mexico," and you fly right in.
Bienvenidos.
And the second you cross that bridge, you see what you couldn't see before, but all of a sudden you see a line 4 miles long of stopped traffic trying to get back into America.
Right.
A lot harder to get back in. And that's how I kind of do the whole leaving France for Amsterdam versus coming back. Like nobody even asked to see a passport or anything. I just got on the train and I was in Amsterdam 90 minutes later. Coming back, it was a whole dog sniffing my crotch and they were all over. Who would have thought people would bring drugs back from Amsterdam?
Yeah,
I would
that's
have never
wild.
thought.
Yeah, no.
Andy just brought peanut butter back.
Yeah, and the dog was all over it, and it felt great.
Okay.
Do you guys offer this service to everybody?
Yeah, this is great. It's bringing a jar of Jif.
$70 tickets, huh?
Also, Biden probably appreciates the train because he can't drive.
Yeah, and
Dude's old.
he's what is he, 81 or 82?
I
now?
don't need he's so senile. Anyway, that's
Yeah.
politics. Back to my train ride.
Okay.
If I may.
Oh, sorry, we interrupted.
No, it's okay. It's okay.
Yeah,
It was
no,
a
that
good
was-
aside. It was a good aside. So we get on the train. We start heading to Dallas. And my wife said, okay, so we're going to Dallas. I said, yeah. So we get to Dallas. Really cool thing about what the Amtrak when it pulls into DFW is there is a tram that will take you straight to the zoo from there.
Perfect.
So that's what we did. We got off, hopped on a tram. No rental car, no Uber, no nothing.
I'm going to say this real quick. That tram is the TRE, the Trinity Railway Express or something like that.
Yeah.
And it's like the biggest secret of DFW that works fantastically. For a while, the Mavs play at American Airlines Center, and you could park over in like Arlington and ride the TRE in, and it would drop you off right in front of the AAC.
I've done that.
And at the end of the game, you hop back on the TRE, and it takes you right back, and you don't have to mess with the traffic or driving. And it's one of those where I used to have to remind myself, like, oh yeah, there's a train we could do this for, and it was so convenient. And it was one of those where I think people just didn't know about it. I don't know, but I don't know why more people didn't use that to get back and forth to the new Cowboy Stadium in Arlington, the Six Flags, the Ranger Stadium. Like the TRE goes right there, and very few people take it.
It's conveniently placed. So we get off the Amtrak, we hop on the TRE, go straight to the zoo, walk around the zoo, have a good time. And then in my back pocket, I'm like, oh yes, botanical gardens. And there's a pretty sweet one in Dallas. So that's what we did is I called an Uber from the zoo to take us to a botanical garden. This is like July, hot and humid.
Yeah.
I'm not thinking about how hot it is outside. We get to the botanical gardens and my wife looked at me and said, what are we doing here? And I was like, well, you like the botanical gardens. And we had a good time. And that was my trying to be romantic fail.
Yeah, that'll happen.
You know, I didn't know where that was going.
Can
It
I?
was romantic.
I was on pins and needles.
That's not as good. Like that was just like, why did you bring me here? And I wanted a climax there.
Okay, the climax was big argument.
Oh,
Thought for the rest of the drive back to the ride.
You
back to
ruined
Oklahoma
the trip.
City. Yeah, I ruined the trip.
Yeah.
I was like, well, I guess I'm getting a divorce at the end of this trip. And, that we didn't talk to each other the entire train ride back. Didn't talk to each other the entire hour and a half drive back from Oklahoma City. And the next morning was one of those like, am I going to see a ring on the nightstand?
we good or
Yeah.
So I have a funny botanical gardens comment here. Growing up in Arlington, so right beside Fort Worth, the Fort Worth Botanical Gardens were incredible. For whatever reason, Fort Worth had the better zoo and the better botanical gardens than Dallas. So like nobody went to the Dallas Zoo. It was the Fort Worth Zoo that was the one. But I only ever knew of the Fort Worth Botanical Gardens. And I ended up at some point in my life in a different city. And I realized, oh shit, they got a botanical gardens too. How weird is that? Like we got one in Fort
wild.
Worth. And then after like 5 cities of being like, I was in my early 30s when it hit me that like, oh, every city's got a
They
botanical.
got a fucking McDonald's here too?
Yeah, but no, for real. I remember several times pointing out to people in this new city, like, "Oh shit, you guys got a botanical gardens? We got one in Fort Worth." And I
That's
thought
hilarious.
it was what a coincidence.
It's like a Knott's Berry's farm.
Yeah. Anyhow, now I know that they're in every major city, but yeah, I learned that way too late.
Just in Stillwater. Y'all got a Six Flags here too? This is this is wild.
Andy, we have a botanical gardens here.
I didn't know we had one in Tulsa. I knew there was one in OKC though.
Oklahoma City. That's what I mean.
Okay,
Oklahoma. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Speaking of the Rangers you brought up earlier.
Okay.
Ford Ranger?
No, Texas.
Okay.
Baseball.
Yep.
What does it mean to get to the different bases as far as intimate times go.
Like first,
okay. I
like
thought
first through fifth.
Yep.
Fifth?
Yeah, if there's a fifth
Okay.
base.
All right.
What?
Okay. Andy may
Wait, there's-
have researched this.
There's a fifth base?
Andy may have researched this
Fifth
based
base-
on AI generated
Well,
responses.
Let's not jump the gun.
Okay.
Let's start. So we're at home plate and we got first base.
Yeah.
So what is first base?
Yeah, that's what I'm asking.
To me, that's smooching. Kissing.
Yeah, kiss is first
Kissing
base.
is first
With
base.
or without tongue, though.
Tongue or either way, kissing alone is first base. Is where I'm at.
Concur?
I'm good with that. If I were to have to pick, I'm going to say with tongue.
I'm going to say with tongue, too.
Okay.
Because, like, the peck is like,
Right.
So it's been so long since any of us dated, but like if we went out on a date and at the end of the date we got a kiss, even if it was a peck, I would be like, I got to first base. If I was telling my buddies, that's where I got first base.
So really, you're telling me we got a third?
No, we'll get to third in a minute.
Hit the cycle.
I'm curious what y'all's bases are. If y'all stop at 3, that's weird.
No, it's four bases. There's 4 bases in a baseball field. You got
Okay.
home plate, first,
second base.
third.
Second base.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, second base.
That's
Honking.
honk.
That's hands only.
Hands only.
Yeah.
Above the
Okay,
waist.
that's
above
an
waist.
important distinction. I'll go with y'all on that, but that's what I was going to ask.
Okay, above
Yeah.
waist. Yep.
Hands above waist. Undershirt or outside of shirt. Doesn't matter.
I don't think so.
Doesn't matter?
I don't think
I
so.
feel like there needs to be a half base. There needs to be like a second and a half base.
There's a shortstop in there.
Okay.
So you get to the second baseman or something? Or what?
Well, because
That's the bra.
where I would put third base would
Defender.
be the addition of mouths on privates. I don't know how else to say that. That's third base, but what we're forgetting about hands on privates. Where's that
Well,
go?
I thought third base was hands
So,
below the waist.
By AI generated answer, because
Okay.
I did look this up, it is stimulation below the waist. So both can be true.
On third base is any kind of getting to completion or attempting to get
Yeah,
get to
no completion. No completion. It could be hand usage or face usage.
Okay.
Stimulation only. Like it doesn't necessarily
Well,
have to be finishing.
No. I don't think that's.
You're not
yeah.
finishing the job. It's stimulate. So
Never have before. So
Quick recap: first base, kissing, tongue, no tongue. Second base, above the waist, handsy,
yeah, shirt or no shirt.
shirt or no shirt, under, over, doesn't matter.
Right.
And then third base is stimulation below the waist.
Yeah.
but
Both
not
parties or
completion.
one?
I don't think any part of this needs to have completion.
Oh, but it could have completion.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay, I thought you were about to say if there's completion, then that goes to a home run, and it's like no, a home
No.
run is intercourse.
In my
And with a
mind,
G.
yeah,
yes.
That's
but if you're
fourth
just
Yeah, that is home. That is the home run.
so peeing, but if you're just being your L all over some T's, that's third base.
BLTs.
base. If you bust your load over some titties.
Like from a hand or
But you have to admit, you said BLTs.
He
and I
did
got
say
distra-
BLTs, and I like that.
I got distracted.
I'm gonna
We should have BLTs.
I love Sammy's.
okay.
We were talking about doing a food review
know,
thing, and we
but
just
I
haven't done
just
it.
didn't-
Man, time is
slacking.
2 weeks.
Time is difficult. It's maybe going to loosen up soon. Soccer is coming, closing.
To an end.
Getting there 3 weeks.
Okay, hold on. So we got first, second, third, and then home run is P in the VG.
Okay,
So then
you know
what is
it
this?
fit.
What is the fifth base?
It's the one that most wives won't do.
It's the backdoor base.
Yes, thank you.
Oh, that was a base?
Okay, so
That's
we were
beyond a home run.
talking about this at breakfast. Me and Morgan were the other
with
day.
the children or what?
No,
Yes.
Okay, good.
No.
no.
I was confused.
And so I'm like, I'm going to make sure because I thought third base was mouth.
That's where I would have
down
said
there.
mouth before tonight, but you guys saying mouth or hand stimulation, I'm good with.
That
but I
makes
would have
sense.
said
It does
mouth.
make sense.
Yeah.
So that was the point of contention. Not
Okay.
really. We weren't not mad at each other.
Right,
about-
right.
I hate you so much.
That's a
it's
typical
mouth on
marriage
vag.
fight, though. Like, what are you guys fighting about? Well,
But when I Googled it, the AI generated answer came up, and it's those like, oh, we scoured the web, and here's what we found, and then it's like fifth base. I'm like, that's not how baseball works.
Right.
yeah.
But okay,
To
Okay.
me, that's fifth base.
So I agree with you, although third base is mouth. Like second base is hands.
Yeah.
Third base is mouse and mouth, and then mouse in the gerbil, and then
That's Richard Gere. I don't know if
P
you've
in
heard
the
that story.
G. Okay, so then P in the A noose
uh-huh.
is fifth base.
Fifth base. I guess that's like hitting for the
Yeah.
cycle.
Huh. So would we just call that a grand slam then?
No, because that's like
The grand slam is when you go out on the first date and you round the bases.
Oh, including fifth base.
Nah, if you get to fifth base on a first date, you should run. Like that's not.
Why?
It's not a good sign.
He's probably right.
Yeah.
I'm going to agree on that. Like,
What if they're saving it for Jesus?
That's one of those where, like, in my mind, in fantasies, it'd be like, whoa, a chick that would do that on the first date, like, awesome. But in reality, if on the first date she's like, hey, I want you to that would be unsettling.
That would be
I
like,
wouldn't
this
enjoy
is
that.
not the first time
Yeah.
this has happened this week. Probably.
Today.
It's like this has only happened to me twice in my life, but if you're ever fooling around with a girl for the first time and she's like, "Oh, it's cool, you don't have to wear a condom." Oh no, I definitely need to wear a condom now. Like
Yeah.
the fact that you just said that,
I was going to try to convince you otherwise,
yeah.
but now
the fact that you offered it,
I have to go get them. Actually, I don't even have any.
exactly.
The viral video that you just referenced was one of the only times I remember just laughing out loud hysterically. Nope.
What
I
viral
can't
video?
I cannot say most. I can't put it in the back door for religious reasons. And
Oh.
is it okay?
yeah.
There. That's about as.
Oh yeah,
clean as-
sodomy, right? That's
that-
I mean, you could go call it that, but
Sure,
Okay.
but
I mean,
no,
in that way-
it's like it's a funny video of a couple of girls singing that they are saving themselves, so they have to do it back there.
is it by Garfunkel and Oates?
Yeah.
Okay, that's my favorite. It's called
Yes.
the Loophole.
Yeah, that's perfect.
Everybody
I didn't know
listening,
that's what it was
please
called.
Google or get on YouTube and look for The Loophole by Garfunkel and Oates. And they also have a song called Hand Job. What is it called? Hand Job, Man Job, I Don't Understand Job.
Yeah.
Do I spit? Do I squeeze? Do I ever touch the top? No. How do I learn if you always make me stop? Sorry. Those two girls are funny as heck. I'm just going to say.
But
we
the,
might get copyright struck on that one.
the first
Yeah.
time they like hit the chorus on that, I laughed hysterically.
Yeah.
And I think it's tough to make me laugh with internet videos and clips now because we're so desensitized to them. We see so much of.
Yeah.
But that one was 5, 6, maybe 8 years ago. I don't know. And holy cow, I laughed
Yeah.
so hard.
I've never seen it.
I like once every
have it?
6 months I go back and rewatch it. That's one of those where we couldn't play it on here, but I'd almost like to do like a reaction video of just like your facial expressions while watching it because it takes some turns that now you're ready for. But if we hadn't prepped you, it would.
Yeah, I'm gonna forget.
Yay.
Oh, I'm sending it to you.
Yeah.
Yeah, send it to me. I'll download it and watch it when I'm on the plane tomorrow.
Yeah. Okay. You should put a
download
camera
it.
on yourself.
You can download from YouTube.
It's a 3-minute video.
Well, I'm gonna. I don't want it to be fresh in my mind.
Okay, you want to take a break?
Yes, I want it to be like have the twists and turns and be on pins and needles, holding onto that rail of the roller coaster.
Gotcha.
Yes.
I like it. I'm gonna take us back 3 steps real quick.
Okay.
Things that we try to do romantically for our wives that blow up in our faces.
Put it in the noose.
So the night that I tried to propose to my wife.
Oh, right. You did have a second story. Let's
yeah.
hear it.
Oh, wait.
If I told you, if either of you heard this fun proposal
I've
story,
not.
Okay. I've never done anything romantic in my life, and I've never been that kind of guy. It's just not what I do naturally. When I decided I was going to propose to my wife, I was like, all right, this is the one time I'm gonna like practice and figure some stuff out. Our favorite restaurant was called Del Frisco's in Fort Worth, and great steakhouse. And I knew the bartender there and a couple of the waitresses, so I had this all worked out to where I was going to go in, go to the bathroom, hand off the ring to one of the waiters who was going to hand it off to someone in the kitchen. And like when our dessert came out, the ring was going to be in the dessert. Not original, but for me, like
Yeah, pretty good.
It's romantic.
It's pretty good.
yeah, I was excited about this plan that I had laid out.
Yeah.
The night that we were going to go was the night of her company Christmas party at the office, and we were going to stop by the office first and just say hi to people. 30 minutes there, and then go on to our big dinner at Del Frisco's where I was going to propose. She was damn on to me that I was proposing that night. Like it was, we'd been living together for a while. It's hard to be sneaky and like go out and buy a ring and stuff when you live with someone. So she saw it coming, but we got in the car, and as soon as we got in the car, she was like looking at me and smiling, and I was like, well, "Can I help you?" And she's like, "Do you have anything you want to ask me?" And I was like, "No,
Oh, come on.
I don't." And you can turn the fuck around, and we're going. And like she just kept staring at me, and finally she was like, "Here's the deal. Like if you're gonna propose, I just want to be able to show all my friends at the office, blah blah blah." And she like nagged me to the point. Well, while driving,
Oh my God.
I reached into my pocket and I go, "Here, you want to get married?" And I just kept driving, and she was like, "Ah!" and like got all excited, and then she ran into the office, and it was exactly what she wanted. Where I was like, "Ah!" and all the girls are looking at her ring, and I had this incredible thing set up that when I got to the restaurant, I just had to tell them, I was, "Yeah, no, she fucking blew it." Like,
I
she-
actually think I would be so mad.
dude.
I think I would be
seem still
so
mad right
Yeah,
now.
you do, but I agree with
Yeah.
it. I 100% agree with it.
And she's like, if I tell this story in front of her, she'll kind of laugh and be like, "Haha, I did that." And I'm like, "No, you fucking like." Ugh. Anyhow,
And she's
now,
so sweet. Like I
Yeah.
wouldn't. I maybe impatient.
but every now and then when somebody's like, "Oh, what's the story of how y'all met or whatever," I always bring that up in front of her because I'm like, she ruined the one thing I tried to do.
So are we gonna do this then? Are we telling our proposal stories?
If you got a good one, mine's
not
irritating.
interesting. Took her out for her birthday. Took her to a park. Her like favorite little place to walk and proposed to her. She did say yes.
Did you get down on one knee? Mm-hmm. Did you have anybody take pictures?
Nope.
Nice.
Just us. That was a big thing. That was a big thing actually I wanted. And probably goes back to what you were saying. Like this is our thing.
Yeah.
I didn't want anyone else there.
Okay. Nice.
She could have said no. I'm kind of a
Yeah, that'd be embarrassing, right?
I'm kind of a douche sometimes. She could have said no.
Agreed.
Hey.
Sorry. I mean,
I know.
so I was going to school for air traffic control, and part of that we had to do flight lessons. So I was going to the local small airport here, taking flight lessons, and the day I was going to propose to my wife, I knew what I was going to do. So flashback to first date. We had to go and pay for those flight lessons. And she said, "Oh, are we going on a helicopter ride?" Because they had those little signs on the side of the road. It's like helicopter ride, $99. And I said, "No, I'm just got to pay my bill for flight lessons. And then we're going to go on a date." This is Valentine's Day. So come proposal night, I said, "I know exactly what I'm going to do. Same thing. I got to go pay for my flight lessons.
Okay.
And then we're actually going to go on a helicopter ride." What she had told me was, "You can't propose to me at Rama Lights." Because, and for if you have never been, there's a church here that puts up
right.
like, yeah,
I call it Rama. Am I saying it wrong?
it's Rama.
Sounded
Okay,
right.
got
Did I
it.
say it differently?
I thought you said Rama, but
No, Rama Lama Ding Dong. No, it's Rama
So
Lights.
yeah, the first year we were here, somebody told us about it. We went, and that place was awesome. Neat spot to walk around.
Yeah,
So,
they got like 30 million Christmas lights. They
Yeah.
do it, they start setting up in June essentially, and then you go. Anyway, she told me I couldn't do that because that's really cliche. So
Oh wait, she was telling you, she was giving you the rules for when you propose.
yeah, she said when you propose, it can't be at Rama Lights, and it can't be like all the cliche things.
Got it, okay.
Like in the champagne glass, mainly because she wasn't 21, that kind of thing. So in my head, I thought back to our first date. She asked if we were going to go on a helicopter ride. This time I was actually going to take her on a helicopter ride.
Okay.
And then I thought about it and said, I'm not going to do it at Rama Lights. I'll do it over Rama Lights. So we go to this place, hop on a helicopter, and it's a Rama Light Christmas light tour. And at the time, Ainsley was almost 1. So we did some shopping beforehand. And this is going to sound so like ooey gooey. Anyway, I had taken a onesie and ironed on letters, "Will you marry Dad?"
Okay.
And I put that on her when I went
That's
to change her
cute.
diaper, put her coat back on her. We got on the helicopter, went for the ride over the Rama Lights. I took off the coat and was like, "Hey." And then the pilots were nice enough to mute the mic in case she said no. They
Very
muted the communication between us and the pilots. And I said, "Hey, will you marry me? Will you marry Dad? Whatever." And she said, "Well, I told you not at Rama Lights." And I was like, "Well, we're over Rama Lights. So
Yeah, we're in a helicopter. Okay.
Gotcha.
It's-
So-
I would like to point out that they would have this exact same kind of conversation how 10, 11 years later,
yeah.
they would have this same exact conversation would happen. Well, no, it's over, so I don't know. I guess.
I don't know what you're gonna do. It's over it. Like I circumvented your rules, and then I
Answer
had
the question.
I coordinated the people that went with us to the botanical gardens. They are big photographers. So I said, "Hey, come to the airport, take pictures of us when we get off the helicopter, and all that kind of stuff." And so we then took staged pictures.
Okay.
That was my proposal story.
That's really cute. It is super cute and way more thought out than mine.
There's a fun thing where if you do something too good for like those kind of moments, every other guy is like, "That's gay." Like,
Yeah, I guess if that's what you like to do.
yeah, or secretly we're all like, he's good at that shit. But like we won't say that, and instead we'll make fun of you for being so soft. Like that's
What are you?
yeah, exactly.
So speaking of that, right? It was Valentine's Day a few years later, and our neighbors across the street, super cool people, really nice, like salt of the earth type people. The neighbors you want to have, do anything for you, always there. And it was Valentine's Day, and I was like, "Oh, hey, I'm not gonna say her name. It's good to see you. Happy Valentine's Day. I hope that your husband, treated you well. He had to go out of town. He worked for the railroad." She said, "Yeah, he got me a diamond for every one of my piercings." And I was like, "Okay." She had like a whole bunch of like piercings on her ears and stuff. She's like, 18 of them. So once she told me this, I immediately zoned out and started counting the number of piercing I could see, which was 15. And I knew there was one here, and I knew there was one here. There was not one here, so I was kind of left to my imagination.
yeah, I can tell you later on. I'll explain to you where the last one was.
Thank you.
Yeah, hand me that bullet.
Is it on the anus?
Next to her, next to her BLT.
That'd be the most. I don't know if that I've ever heard of that, but that'd be the most interesting one if it was a
Right there.
backdoor piercing.
Could you imagine that? Like they pierced the front door.
Right, but I don't think it prevents anything coming
Can you
out.
imagine how they clean that though? Like,
Be a little rough.
With a tongue.
yes. So yeah, this is an interesting episode.
Yeah.
Actually, so far, so I'm not.
I was in a meeting
Pretty
earlier
happy.
today, about some content that we're doing for work. And it's 3 females, and they looked at the background in my meeting because it was a video call. And they said, "You look like you stream on Twitch." And I said, "I don't have time to play video games, and I'm not nearly cool enough to stream on Twitch and make an income. So no." And then I tried to start the meeting, to which I said, "You should podcast."
Oh,
And I immediately looked down, and the one person knows me pretty well, and she said, "You have a podcast, don't you, J. Ray?" And I said, and here's a dilemma: do I tell female coworkers
Not coworkers.
about this podcast where we just talked about micro penises for literally an hour and 11 minutes?
somebody's the worst at telling people at work, and it's a female coworker of mine.
Oh,
She?
Yeah,
really? I was going to say,
Yeah.
I'm not telling anybody.
no.
Yeah, well,
I'll just
Anyway.
be walking down the hallway, and someone will be like, SPL, huh? And I'm like, what?
nice.
How did you figure that out? And they're
Glad
like,
she's
"Oh."
doing that to herself.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's very brave.
Yeah.
She's very brave in that. I wouldn't. I mean, actually, Morgan's told everyone at her work.
You know what's shocking is the most positive feedback I've gotten about the SPL was from women. I've had more women tell me they
funny
enjoyed that.
conversation.
It is a funny
That is a
conversation.
funny conversation and not offensive whatsoever.
I
Like,
honestly thought women would not find that comical, and I was wrong.
they didn't know either. I was laughing hysterically listening to it afterwards. You're not supposed to kudos yourself about your good work. That was funny.
I'm shocked so many women I know have a sense of humor. I didn't see that coming. I mean, next thing I know, they're going to be reading maps.
And
That's Andy's opinion, not our opinion.
wow, our views just went down actively. We're not live.
I forgot Kirsty wasn't here. I was still trying to.
What?
Sorry, my bad.
You can't say that.
I got into it with somebody about the this. I'm going to sidetrack us for a second. But why can't women read maps? I'm going to look at the women here. I don't understand this. I've yet to meet a woman that can read a map. Am I the only one that comes across this? Or are you guys just not going to act like this is in my imagination?
I haven't used a map in 15 years.
Even looking at the phone, this thing happens where I'll be like, which way do I turn? And the directions are on a female's phone. And then they'll start turning their phone sideways or upside down to try to make it make sense.
Who are you driving?
There's one person in particular.
Okay, so, I cannot say I have the same thing. My wife and 3 daughters went on a 21-day RV trip.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
part of the preparation for the trip was we bought an atlas, and my kids had to highlight and plan the route on
Perfect.
the atlas
Yeah.
of what highways they're going to take. They couldn't get obviously no exit numbers, but anything that was along the way. And they routed the whole path just in case cell phone doesn't charge, whatever it may be. That way they had that as a backup because they went 25 states in 21 days by themselves.
Yeah,
So
it was cool.
that's something that we should all be doing with our kids, just in case. Because, if the one day, if the grid goes down and this and that, we're all going to be in trouble in a lot of ways, but also we're all so reliant on our maps feature on our phone. I don't know how to get to a lot of places in Tulsa because since in DFW, I grew up there without a phone, so I could get everywhere without looking at a map. But up here, I've relied on my phone everywhere I go. No matter where I'm going, I pop it into my phone, and then I just follow my Apple CarPlay. And if it didn't work one day, I don't know how to get to downtown. I'm slightly exaggerating,
Yeah,
but
you
I haven't had to memorize any of it. So,
I can do Tulsa and Oklahoma City.
dude, when I was a kid though,
I'm there so much now.
got it down soccer wise or
Soccer wise.
Yeah.
Dude, from Edmond to Norman, we were there every other week.
Yeah,
Everything in between.
you are.
that's when I was younger. Me and my dad moved out to California when I was in junior high. So every summer he'd fly to town and then we'd drive together to California and we'd drive back at the end of the summer. 2 days, 34 hours, DFW to San Jose. It was, and my dad's Mr. We have to see how fast we can get there and then try to
Absolutely.
beat that time on the way back. So that's where I get that from. But I would sit down the night before and plan out our trip. And on maps, how it shows how many miles between this point. That camera's no more.
Okay, keep going.
Anyhow, but we would sit there and plan out the trip, and I would have to figure out okay, it's 230 miles from this location to this one. That's how much a full tank of gas is. So I was even planning our gas stops along the way.
So I went to California with my dad a ton when I was a kid. It kind of sounds like he was the same way. You stop if the car broke down or you're dead.
When you need gas, you stop and you get everything else while you're getting gas. There's no wasted stops. So bathroom, gas station, food, back in the car, we're moving.
See, I've turned that changed me into the complete opposite.
okay.
I'm like, you want to stop? Cool. You want
Nope.
to stop here? Cool. I don't care. We're going to get there. I mean, if we have a game to get to or a strict schedule, that's one thing. Otherwise, if we're doing a long trip and you want to stop at the world's largest ball of yarn, okay. Fine, I don't care. Let's do it.
I'm terrible when I get in the car and plug in my destination and it says, okay, 4:35 arrival time. Immediately, I'm like, I need to be there by 4:25. I'm going to shave 10 minutes off just through my superior driving and no stops. And I don't care how bad somebody needs to pee. Like, we're not stopping unless the truck has issues, like you said.
Justin and I have talked about this. The arrival time math makes no sense to me.
None.
Yeah.
I can drive 25 miles per hour over the speed limit, and it's like, yeah, you cut off 2 minutes there. That's pretty good. I'm like, that doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
That makes zero sense. I should be shaving off 30 seconds every couple minutes.
But is it giving you a prediction based off the speed limit or the average speed that people are driving on this road or your driving history? That's what I always wonder.
My driving, it shouldn't be my history. I don't think my phone's considering my history.
You don't think your phone remembers all the places you've gone?
Oh, it could, but I don't think it's remembering my average drive speed.
Okay, I'm just saying.
Like he made it from Kansas City to here in what?
It was
2.5 hours.
Dude, it was insane.
Nice.
2.5
I was
hours?
going 30 over.
It's a 3.5 hour drive if you're on the speed limit.
The beautiful part is, like, it is the flattest drive in the history of the world. If there is a police officer, you will see them for 2 miles.
Nice.
2 days.
Like, you will see them so far ahead. And it was late. It was a Sunday afternoon soccer tournament. Our game was like 4, I think. So, but got out of there like 5. And I'm like, I am ready to be home now.
Gotcha.
You know, you got to check out of your hotel at like a 10 or 11. So you're just kind of wandering around. Booked at home, never had any problems. But I'm checking this ETA. I'm going, it is broken. I am flying.
Yeah.
And I'm texting Justin while I'm driving. Just be like, this is bullshit.
He did say that. It's a direct quote.
Yeah, I was mad. Like
Very
this
pissed.
this ETA needs to go down now. I am killing it out here.
See, I've always thought that it takes the average speed of everybody on the roads because I go back
That
and
it
forth to
could be.
Texas once a month, 4-hour drive, and speed limit's 75. I'm doing 87, and like you're saying, like it takes maybe a minute off in an hour, and the math doesn't check out. But I don't think it's saying if you were going the speed limit, here's what time you'll arrive. I think it's calculating how fast everyone's going on the roads, so you have to be going way faster than the flow of traffic. Which the flow of traffic's doing 5 or 6 over.
Sure.
That's my thought.
There is also, I saw a study about a bell curve about how fast you're going versus like the speed limit to actually save time. And the faster you go with the higher speed limits, it really minimalizes the.
Gotcha.
Yes, I researched it because I was mad.
But damn, it feels good to go fast.
Oh, dude. Yeah.
Like Ricky Bobby.
So yeah, we should be teaching our kids that, and that was one of the other things. My wife had them calculate what is the MPG in the RV they were driving, how many miles they would get between fill-ups to be a quarter tank, and then they got on the internet, located nearest gas stations to roughly those miles. Like she went all out, balls to the walls.
I like that.
Kudos to my wife on this one. And they went, like I said, 21 days, 25 states. The only time she said that it was like sketch was when they were coming down from Montana into Nevada, across Idaho.
There's some periods there where
she was like, I did not realize how far it was between gas stations.
Yeah. As I've been on some, especially you drove out to California. So if you're going across I-10 or I-20, like you hit back in the day, I don't know how it is now. This is 22 years ago, but I would hit some spots where it'd be like next gas 79 miles.
Still
and
the same.
like, you better be looking at your fuel gauge because you go 30 more miles and break down. Like, good luck.
It was probably even worse going to Tucson, even though it's a little bit closer. You're driving straight through the heart of New Mexico.
Yep.
And there
There's nothing.
there is nothing.
Nothing between Albuquerque and Gallup.
Yeah.
And if you take the north-south route down,
Which that'd be a fun game to do with our kids is get out. You guys remember Mapscos?
no.
So it was a brand, but a Mapsco. Back in like the 80s, everybody had a Mapsco in their car, and it was like
Not
a
everyone did.
thick book, and you would find the street name in the back and like the index or whatever, and then it would tell you page 62C7, and you'd have to find it on the grid, and that's how you get around. So you drop anybody at any intersection with a Mapsco, and they could figure out where they were and how to get to where they're going. So an Atlas is just bigger. A Mapsco is like meant for your car. It's like a book size deal. Okay. Anyhow, they don't sell them anymore.
You just described an atlas. Yeah, go on.
Slightly different. Okay. Anyhow,
Sorry.
but I think we should do that with our kids, like where we should turn it into a competition and be like, who can find this intersection and give them a Mapsco.
Abby will lose.
Okay.
Abby will come in last. Letty might take her down.
Abby will probably rip the book in half.
Problem solved.
Doesn't matter.
No one can win.
I'm not driving anyway.
She cannot get from my house to your house.
She can't?
She might be able to now, but for even recently, she could not tell us how to do that.
You should. I bet she could.
And probably now, but it has not been a year in which she would struggle to do so.
Really?
Yeah.
That's surprising. She's really smart.
She is, but she is also an airhead. She
She's
does
blunt.
not pay it. She does not pay attention. She just wants to think about what she's going to talk about next.
I think I heard her the last time she tried to shoulder check me.
I think so too.
I feel really bad about that. I didn't I don't know what it was. She went in for a shoulder check and I really leaned into it. I didn't
like
move
that.
her much at all, but she's like, "Oh, that hurt my ribs." And I was like, dadgummit.
You can't do that.
I'm so sorry.
No, it's okay.
I felt
Dude,
really
she's
bad.
so she wants to be picked on. She starts it.
She does.
She's huge.
She is.
And you're just like, okay, well, I'm going to show you today.
Yeah, like she'll kick my shin, and I'm like, you know what happened the last time you kicked my shin? You hurt your foot. And that day, she leaned in like she was going to do it, and I didn't hold back. And I did feel really, really bad.
It's fine.
glad she's okay.
Yeah, I think. I don't know. She's going to not know how to report injuries. She is a sore girl.
Dude, did you hear about when she broke her hand?
This was a little while. I remember you guys told me that like it was swollen, and then it turned out she had broke it, and like I guess she go a couple days just with a swollen hand, not realizing it was broken. Was it something like that?
This is not my story to tell, but when Kyle was recounting this to me,
Gotcha. Yeah, I think I
like just tell how the story was.
So we were at a soccer game, and I think it was like 28 degrees and raining.
Freaking cold.
Okay.
Raining and like 30-mile-per-hour winds. It was by far the worst game I've ever been at. I have no idea what I was doing. I'm sitting out there watching it, but alas, there I was. She scored a goal. She gets up, shakes off her hand, goes to the sideline. She goes, "Coach, I think my hand's broken." He's like, "Yeah, whatever." Okay. Doesn't think about it again. So I go home, and the first thing I do is I turn my shower on full blast and just steam it out just to warm it up in there, just to warm up. And she walks in to the bedroom after I do that. And I'm like, "Hey, go jump in the bathroom and just steam, warm up." She's like, "I think something's wrong with my hand," and it is swollen to like 3 times its size. And I'm like, "Oh yeah, your hand's broken. What happened? What did you do?" "Oh, I just got it stepped on and kicked while she actually scored a goal on the play."
Yeah.
She's like, "I got tackled, went down, got it stepped on, and broke it." And I'm like, that is not a normal reaction for I think an 11-year-old girl at the time,
was
maybe
11.
12, maybe 12.
she's more of a man than I am, so
Yeah. Like she just shrugged it off, which is the funniest thing. You see this hand, like you saw that big old goose egg right there, played it off like nothing happened.
Never took a day off.
Flick her ear, and she's like, down for the count.
Yeah,
It's just
right.
like, what the heck, Abby?
I believe she's played with a partially torn quad.
okay.
And I still think she might have had a small fracture in her shin from taking a.
Do you take her to the doctor to verify any of this, or is it just
No, the hand we did,
Okay.
but that was clearly broken.
you say you did or didn't with the hand?
Did.
Okay.
And the quad we tried.
Okay.
You did try.
So she was a few days till she was 12.
Yeah.
And they're like, "We can't give MRIs to anyone under the age of 12. I'm
Gotcha.
and I'm like, "Oh, is it because of body size?" And they're like, "Yeah, it's because they're too small." And I'm like,
Look
"You
at this
are
girl."
looking up to her, ma'am.
Yeah.
She is 8 inches taller than you, and
just one of
outweighs
those-
you by."
It's one of those they don't want to get sued. Yeah,
They
this is what the
were
rule says.
steadfast with it too. I tried the nice approach. I tried like the "Are you kidding me?" approach. Like I tried
None
it
of it
all.
worked?
No, none of it.
That sucks.
Like, ma'am, she outweighs you by 80 pounds and is 8 inches taller than you. I think we're gonna be okay. We're consenting. We'll sign it.
Yeah.
All right.
That's the second time we've talked about consent.
Yeah. You cut the first time we talked about consent.
I'm going to cut that comment.
Yeah. I have one other topic that I was actually like not therapeutically, but I need to work this out in my brain, and I feel like you guys are good guys to bounce this off of.
Okay.
Partially because on a scale of how religious, I feel like we cover a spectrum of, not as religious to more religious and kind of in the middle. Am I reading that right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
Anyhow, talking to a guy last Wednesday or Thursday last week, and right off the bat, he mentioned the good Lord 3 or 4 times. He's a slightly older guy than me, but he has a kid my age. So I get the feeling he like had a kid at the age of 40 or maybe his early 40s. He had another child.
Wait, he has a kid your age?
Sorry, a kid my kid's age.
I was like,
thank you.
That was,
What?
wait, how
I'm trying
slightly
to
older?
work this through in my brain.
Okay.
He's 106.
He's got a kid my kid's age, but he is 10 to 15 years older than me.
Okay.
So he's one of those dads, but also very religious. I caught on to that right off the bat. But we were joking around about our daughters, and I was like, my kid thinks she's going to be a blah, blah, blah one day. We're kind of going down that road. And he was like, I thought he was kidding, But he was like, he's like, I'm trying to turn my wife into the best homemaker, or my daughter, sorry. I'm trying to turn my daughter in like the best housewife or homemaker. I can't remember. And I kind of thought he was joking. And I was like, oh, well, like, but like, what do you want her to like, what do you want her career to be? Or I kind of asked a question like that. And he was like, no, like, I'm trying to turn her into the kind of woman that'll have a man that like takes care of her and this and that. And then he elaborated and went on to be like, that's the godly view of the family unit. And he did throw out a couple like, the devil and the Democrats are trying to like kill the family unit is kind of his speech.
That's
but
our
I
goal.
started thinking about it, and it's something that I honestly need to work through because I'm not sure where I'm at. But it's like I want my kid to have goals, you know, to where she can provide for herself if needed.
That's the scary part to me is if you get trapped, you choose a wrong guy, you go down a slightly, you make a small mistake on that, and all of a sudden you have no exit.
Well, and so, but I know plenty of women that are homemakers or housewives. I don't look down upon them at all. I don't. No. And it's almost, I think kind of where I'm at is I want my kid to have the ability to provide for herself so that she's not trapped in maybe a bad marriage or something like that where she can be independent if needed. But if she finds herself in a situation where her husband's doing quite well and she can raise kids at home, then awesome. But it was kind of weird, and my first instinct was to be like, no, like the message of telling your kid you're going to be a good homemaker one day is a terrible message. But also, I'm looking at it from probably a different point of view as other people. And what he was saying to me, I understood where he was coming from. I don't know. I'm torn on it because, like I said, I know homemakers.
I do get where he's coming from. I think I would highly advise against that for a couple of reasons. One, you're just locking your kid into this small box because say they don't meet anyone by 25. Well,
you're going to be taking care of your daughter.
They have
for a
no
while.
discernible skills. You've made sure that they have no sellable skills in a marketplace.
Yeah.
Now it's 30.
Now they're on OnlyFans.
Now they're screwed.
That's like, you know, that back in the day, it was like, I got to keep my daughter off the pole. Yeah. Now it's OnlyFans. Like, I just don't want my kid to have an OnlyFans.
So and then obviously I touched on the other thing. You choose the wrong guy, and that could get really financially abusive really quickly.
And I think that's more likely the case anyway, since divorce is 50% of all marriages end in divorce anyway. Like, what is the likelihood that you're going to find the dude? I guess 50% is the chance that their marriage.
Yeah, if you're happy.
If you're going by statistics,
And if you're happy.
Yeah. And plenty of people are happy being homemakers. There's nothing, we're
right.
not saying there's anything wrong with that, but I think.
No. My point is, even though 50% is, and that stat is skewed. We've heard that for a long time, and that's skewed. But
What was the stat you're going to say?
the
50%
divorces in
50% of
marriage.
marriages.
Okay. It's higher now, I believe.
Oh.
I thought it was lower than that. I thought it was actually lower than that, but everyone just kind of rounds it up for ease of
Gotcha.
use. I may be completely wrong on that. But that means 50% make it. Cool. That does not mean you're happy with where you're at. A lot of people stick it out because what other option do they have?
None, because you gave them, like you said,
You gave them no
discernible skills.
training. So you are taking a huge leap that they're going to find the guy, the right guy. And they're out there. There's like 3 of them.
We're all married.
Yeah. And we are not part
Hands
of the
off,
50%
ladies.
yet. I don't wear a ring.
Not dudes,
Can't do
though.
that.
Yeah, dudes, hands on.
Yeah.
Sorry.
All gay.
Oh, that's successful. That's our keys to successful marriage. Be gay.
All homo.
I'm just afraid you're taking away any rights they may have, any privileges they may have for a successful future, not depending on another person. Why would I want my daughter to need to depend on another person?
Are you saying your white kids will have privilege?
Oh, sure, yeah.
Sorry.
I think our kids, just through being white and being middle class or above, are going to have privilege.
Yeah, they're
Everybody has their own privilege in their own way. I think, anyway, that's a way dangerous topic. So,
hey, the election's tomorrow.
right. Man,
I didn't do that
Okay, what is,
I've wanted to do it all night.
I didn't do it.
okay, Andy, so
Okay.
the purpose of bringing this topic up. Who put this freaking label on? Do you see that? Like, it is nowhere near straight. Were they drinking this whiskey when they put the label on?
They're probably slapping those
sorry.
bad boys
Sorry,
on at a
ADD
million
took
miles an
over.
hour. Yep.
Where's your question?
I kind of wanted to see where you guys fell on this because my instinct right off the bat was like, I can't believe that. And I would never try to tell my daughter she should strive to be a good homemaker. And then real quickly, I was like, oh my God, I think that's insulting. I kind of had a little guilt.
Did you say that to him?
No.
Oh, okay.
No, in my head,
Okay.
I was like, well, wait, what I'm thinking right in here, I think I've overcorrected, and that's insulting to all the women that I know that are stay-at-home moms, and they do a damn good job of it. And I think that is a job in itself, staying at home, taking care of the house, and raising the kids. I'm not trying to demean that,
Right.
But that's where I felt torn because I feel very strongly that like, no, I don't want my kid to be raised to be a housewife. But also, I think they're the ones that do that are admirable. And I'm trying to bridge that gap, and it's a little rough for me.
Well, you are also a pretty reasonable person. You
try.
do listen to both sides of pretty much any conversation.
You do.
That being said, no, I wouldn't do it. I think there are discernible skills that should be taught to anybody, and that is not just girls, that is boys too. I should have been taught how to cook when I was younger. I was not, and I had no idea what I was doing in a kitchen. I didn't even do my own laundry growing up, like nothing. There are discernible skills that should be taught that would be very helpful for all kids, and being, housewife duties are mostly what we should be taught anyway. But is that all you're going to teach them?
This is really old-fashioned thinking. Like, sure, I guess the Bible says that in the Old Testament, but they also say eye for an eye, and they say a whole bunch of other random stuff in the Old Testament that why are you just picking that one to lay on your kid?
It seems like though that the whole I've heard a lot, and not getting political with it, but like the vibe of like the nuclear family unit is under attack, like that kind of vibe. Like there are people that are genuinely like concerned with that, and like
civil liberties are still a thing. Do your own damn thing and quit worrying about what everyone else is doing.
It's interesting, I guess.
Well, okay,
Makes
maybe
America
they're not
beautiful.
trying to make them do anything, but they're enticing them with this perception of like, hey, it's greener over here.
And it could be.
It could be.
I wish my wife could stay home.
Yeah, if
She,
I was
she
making,
wishes that too. Like it's not just me.
Yeah,
But I mean, you wish that so that you could, but that's not the same idea as you're going to do this.
No, not at all. I would never tell
there's
her
a
to do
huge
that.
difference. Your wife is one of the hardest workers I know.
Right.
And so that is a completely different thing because you're grooming. I don't know, man. Like I don't agree with that.
I've been torn by this for like the last 3 or 4 days where I'm it's like I feel very strongly, but I also feel guilty about feeling strongly that way. So like I said at the beginning, this was almost a therapeutic thing for me where I need to talk this out with y'all and figure out where I'm at and make sure I'm comfortable with where I'm at on it.
No, you're good.
So
it's wrong.
where I'm at is we're teaching our girls to be independent, mainly because my wife went through the ringer. She got pregnant with Ainsley, and then homie said, get your shit and get out. Okay. And so then she realized I'm on my own. And so she worked 80 hours a week, 2 full-time jobs through her first trimester. And that was what caught my eye. I was like, this chick works hard. She understood the assignment. I've got to provide. It's not just me anymore. And if you don't have any real discernible skills, if you are in that situation, like you can't really do much about it down the line. And so we're teaching our girls, advocate for yourself, like teach, learn, get these skills. We teach them how to cook. We teach them how to do these different things. And what you want to do with your life from that point on is fine, but you at least have that to fall back on.
You have options, which I think is kind of where I landed.
And that's also my big thing on education. Like going to college. I understand that is not the right path for everybody, but for me, kids are going to college.
Yeah, what? And that right there is another side of this, though. Like, what's that old movie, Father of the Bride? But it's the whole, she's 19, she's met the man of her dreams, he wants to get married right now. No, I'm your father, and you're going to finish college first. And that's a weird, okay, yeah, it's the man of your dreams right now, but what if things go south in 10 years and you don't have a college
Could
degree?
still be at 22 years old. If he's the man of your dreams, you'll still be here at 22 years old. Like I'm just really big on that, and it's because it's affected me in a way that I would not be in the position I'm in, even though I got a random degree that nobody cares about. But I have it. It is a thing that I have, and it matters.
So, and we talked about this before when I brought it up, and I never really talked about my perspective, which I have an associate's, but I don't like list that as qualifications for anything. And I feel like I'm in a decently good position without a college degree. So I work in construction, so I want to advocate for the trades. And
absolutely.
You don't have to have a college degree to be successful.
No, not at all.
The CEO of our company, $1 billion company, didn't have a college degree. He came up through the trades. Like, it is possible to do. You just have to work extraordinarily difficult, and you might not have doors open as easily.
And
It's an easier path if you have a degree.
the percentage of that is just, it's so small. It can absolutely happen, and you bust your ass and you work harder than the person next to you. Great. That will work, and it will wear you out, and it could not work.
Well, and then from coming at this from a different angle, the couple of girls I had dated like seriously in my life, I went through a string where I was dating in DFW. We referred to SMU girls in a not good way. She's an SMU girl. They were rich, spoiled. Their daddies had money. If a friend of mine was dating an SMU girl, I was like, she's an SMU girl. But I dated a couple of like that before my wife that
Them BLTs.
kind of expected that they were going to be my princess and I was going to take care of them for our whole life if we got married and all that. And when I met my wife, it was really weird because she grew up poor. She worked her ass off for what she had. She didn't take things for granted. And she was very much like, no, you don't have to buy it for me. I'll buy it for myself. Like, and it was a turn on. It was like, holy God, this woman's driven.
Yeah,
She's
100%
career
get
oriented.
that.
And if nothing else, I feel like it's a good thing for us to push our daughters towards that because I think that would help them land a better man potentially.
I think all three of us can say we were attracted to that about our wives.
Yeah.
That was
like-
exactly what attracted me to my wife. She worked 80 hours a week in her first trimester.
Okay.
None of them are bad to look at. That helps. But
They are very attractive women.
But like that's a good thing to take away from this. That is a huge attraction for guys. I saw my wife just busting her ass to be out by herself and make sure that she depended on nobody. And she rose up through ranks. Everywhere she went, she rose up through the ranks quickly. And I was like, man, that's kind of hot.
Yeah.
Also kind of scary.
What? Sorry.
So then to take this a different approach,
Okay.
let's look at and maybe this isn't necessarily a good judgment, but the men married to these homemakers, who, again, we're not knocking, are they as good as what we would want our daughters to have?
We don't know.
Are
We
those
don't see
men
behind
good
closed.
enough?
We don't see behind closed doors.
This is true.
Yeah, that's the key point right
That's a
there.
good point.
Is we don't know how these relationships really are, but I'm sure there are some awesome dudes out there that have a trophy wife that's a 10, and things are probably pretty happy. I think that's like saying I'm going to be a pro football player when I get older. If you're banking on that, you should have some fallbacks.
You should. That'd be really cool.
Yeah.
Go ahead and get started on that.
Yeah.
Because we'd love to go to some games. And
But if a young girl ever said like I want to be a trophy wife, I'd be like, you should have a backup plan. Like that's.
I feel like that was the ugliest kid you've ever seen. The way you said that.
That's true, yeah.
You should.
Yep.
Maybe don't think that.
That option's not in the books.
Yeah.
Let's look at some college students.
Okay, but I have seen some relationships where I know that the wife is the homemaker, and just in public, I see how the husband treats her, and I'm like, bro,
don't talk like that.
Yeah.
you can't talk.
Don't talk to him like that.
Yeah, like,
We know one.
and that's what turns me, because I see that a lot less when
Two working,
dual income people, like, because there's a
mutual.
I wanted to say a sign of respect, but
But that all comes back to the man and the situation. So it's so variable. Like I would hope that a man would respect his stay-at-home wife, but we've seen examples of where that is not the case.
Well, I think it's a power dynamic where
That's-
if I'm making all the money, there comes a point where it's, if not said flat out, it's insinuated that like, what are you going to do? Leave? Like if you
Financial
leave-
abuse. We talked. that's
yeah,
what I
you're
meant.
stuck here because you can't afford to leave me. And I don't want my kid to ever be in a situation where she's stuck. Like, no, you got options. Get the hell out
I
of
don't
here.
want to have to be 57 years old going over to slap somebody in the face.
Yep.
I mean, I'll do it, and maybe that's something we should be emphasizing with our daughters is there is no point in any relationship you're ever going to be in where you will be stuck. You can
Yeah.
always come here.
Come home.
You
Okay.
are always welcome here
Yeah,
for a short period of time. But
that door has to always be open.
Yeah.
You're right.
But in addition to that, can you turn that into the value of getting a good education or whatever it may be, setting yourself up to where you can take care of yourself? I think it's a both ways thing. Yes, you always have here to fall back on, but also,
yeah.
yeah. I don't know. Like I said,
So my wife sent me a short video of this girl, and she was like, "I've slept with 100 men. How many have you slept with?" And the girl's like, "Not that many, but I think that's because my dad always was saying, I love you."
I love you.
that's Yep.
And that made me laugh and thinking maybe that's what we need to do is just show that like we're here, we're supporting you with your decisions.
Well, and we said this several episodes ago, but also demonstrating the kind of man you're going to treat your wife the way that you're.
That's a great point.
Can't think how to say it right. But you know what I'm saying?
That's a great point. Show them the relationship expectations that they should have growing up. Mm-hmm. If you're talking down and demeaning your wife and financially abusing your wife, well, that is the expectation.
That's true.
Yeah. Which makes me wonder the kids that grow up in a household where there is a trophy wife or, you know, a stay-at-home mom that doesn't work and all that. Like the daughters that grow, do they grow up just, not that it's bad, but do they grow up thinking that's normal and that's what I should aspire to? Or
I don't know. I don't know if it's an aspiration, but I do think they probably think it's normal.
Yeah.
And there's a solid chance that there's probably some money there too.
Yeah,
already.
100%.
Already. Well, at least I have it.
Yeah. That's their
I wish
fallback.
I had the fallback money. That'd be sweet. Speaking of, I told Justin my retirement plan the other day. If everything goes to hell, everything, Morgan leaves me and I get fired in the same day. I
Mm-hmm.
messed up badly. Don't know how. Tell me in the comments how that's most likely to happen based on
podcast.
I don't think Morgan would leave me from this podcast. I might get fired, but
That's odd.
that just came back on
Yeah.
It's
and
probably
back off.
eating.
Oh.
I would cash everything out. Everything. I would buy the sweetest RV ever, and I would just start going. Where am I going? I don't know.
Yeah.
I got
Over there.
just park it in your backyard.
That's kind of our retirement plan. And you and my wife work at the same company, so you know how like you can sit there and look at, oh wow, like I think my wife can retire at like 56 or 57 and have a good amount to fall back on.
Yeah, I'm ahead of that.
Dude, our whole thing. Oh yeah, I'm trying to think. When did you start?
She's got me
Sorry,
beat
I
on
just said the
years.
name. Mute that. Yeah.
Yeah, mute that.
I'll mute it.
She's got that. She's got me beat in years, so she's
Yeah.
had to start.
I think her target is like 56, 57. 'Cause you know how those last couple of years it exponentially grows or whatever?
Yeah.
But that's our whole plan is we're going to get like it's called a mini Winnie. That's the one we got our eyes on now. But little mini Winnebago. And we're going to
Just go.
move into a smaller house that has like a barn that you can park that mini Winnie in. And 1 or 2 weeks out of the month, just be on the road and then come back to home base and recharge and then on the road. And that's what we're looking
I don't
at.
even want a house. I want a condo, an apartment, somewhere where someone takes care of my grass for me and takes care of all the things. I guess you could pay someone to do that at a house anyway. But no responsibilities. Lock the door. Gone.
Yep. Seems like, dude, you are not as in the clear as me and Kyle are. But I started looking at this and it's like, my kid turns 10 tomorrow. I got about 8-9 years until she's out of the house. And at that point, like it's almost like a new beginning. I'm going to be sad when my kid goes to college, but at the same time, like the freedom, like I'm 8 to 9 years away from freedom right now. And it's like, there's light at the end of the tunnel and it's a weird thing. So sorry, you got 13 to go. My bad.
It's all good.
Yeah. But yeah, no, it's weird when you start looking at life that way. It's like, I'm going to be 51 or 52 and suddenly have a lot of free time on my hands. A lot. Very excited about that.
I'll be 51.
Oh, yeah, I figure you're younger than me. So yeah, we're both on pace for the same thing.
45.
Lucky man.
Dick.
Yeah.
Just started early. It's not. I actually saw an argument on the internet the other day about starting early with kids or starting late, and the people who are jealous of the singles in their 20s and the people who are jealous when you're 45 and your kids are out of the house, and the difference in who has it better. And it's like, well, there is no answer. It's just whatever the hell you actually want.
It's what you do in between. Like, do you set yourself up to be able to appreciate at the later life?
There is a financial part of having a kid in your early 20s that was
The struggle bus.
fucking rough.
Yeah, but let's think about this though. Did it get you to where you are?
Yep, would have never been here. Probably would have been homeless.
Yeah. So have kids early.
I was not a motivated. I was not a motivated individual at all.
I think it can work both ways, but if I found a 20-year-old boy, I would sit him down and try to, because sorry. There's a lot of things that I would
Continue?
do. There's a lot of things I would do to a 20-year-old boy, just so
Okay.
we're all clear.
Okay.
He's 20 though, so it's okay.
Legit. Legal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But no. So me and my wife.
The pause afterwards.
Yeah.
I couldn't.
Because I realized what I said and I tried to spin it and there was no
That
coming
was
out
the
of
Phil
it. Yeah.
Dunphy moment.
So when I get this 20-year-old boy alone,
Sure.
no, me and my wife dated throughout my 20s and most of her 20s, and we didn't get married till I was about to turn 30, and then we had kids right after that. And in our 20s, we went to Paris and Amsterdam. We went to Hawaii. We went on trips all the time, and we loved our 20s. So by the time we hit like 30 and we had a kid, like we just had a fun decade. It was time to settle down. Like that's kind of my push for people is like, enjoy your 20s. Have a kid. Don't have a kid much later than 30 because we all had those friends that had dads that were like
Freaking old.
Yeah, like 60 when they were in school. So you don't want to be that dad. But like a 30 is a good age to have a kid because you get to have fun in your 20s, but then they're out of the house and you're 50. And at 50, you've still got some life in you. You can do some stuff.
Speaking of, Ainsley came home from school the other day and she said, all my friends talk about how young you and mom are. I was like, how old are your friends' parents?
I've gotten that quite a few times, especially with Abby.
Yeah,
the
like
oldest.
58. Oh, geez, they're freaking old.
Yeah.
Yeah, they are freaking. I'm not that old, am I? She's like, nah, you're really not that old. Thank you.
Dude, soccer. Just look
Yeah.
around. I'm like, I am the youngest person here by like, and except for you, I was like the youngest person here by like 8 years.
I feel
Easy.
like when you left the team, the people that came in to replace y'all are much younger than us. And now I'm one of the old people on the team. And there's like 34-year-old dads running around and kicking balls. And
Gray Bush.
I'm jealous. What was that?
Bush the wise.
Yeah.
Gray Bush.
You're just Gray Bush the wise.
I
am. Yeah. Now, well, that's, I forget, like your kid is young.
She's the same age as one of your kids.
She's middle.
Right. I was just thinking Ainsley. Ainsley's team, like all the parents were older.
They were
than us.
older.
Gotcha.
And
Sorry.
but with Amelia's team, they are younger than us. And you gonna join us for our walk tonight? Oh, yeah, I just got done running 10 miles. Let's walk some more. And I'm like,
One of the dads is a 34, 35-year-old fireman. And he's like, yeah, I'm going to go run for 30 minutes and then I'll walk with y'all. And he comes back and he's still like high stepping and doing things like as we're walking, like we're not giving him enough cardio. And I want to slap him. He's the most awesome guy ever. But I also like, I get jealous and I'm like, and then little stuff at a soccer game, the ball will get kicked out of bounds. And like all of us are looking at it rolling down the hill. And before you know it, he is sprinting full speed after the ball. I'm like, who's got that kind of energy? He's got 2 kids at home.
We did this to ourselves.
Yeah.
I think that we need to just encourage more of if we're winning, you slowly get the ball.
They don't understand that. And we gotta break that to Ryan too, because he doesn't understand that. He's always running after him.
He just wants to help.
Yeah.
He does. And
Well, if y'all ever lose.
Undefeated. Which, hey, I wanted to bring this up real quick. So we got to go to Oklahoma City on Friday night for a birthday, and we were supposed to have a soccer tournament, but it got rained out. We still went ahead and went we went to dinner at a Korean all-you-can-eat barbecue. The previous time that I went there, you were like, I can't wait to put away a lot of meat. So I thought that we were all on the same page of like, we're going to dominate this all-you-can-eat buffet. I'm disappointed in both of you two.
We ran out of time.
I would have stayed.
I'm not paying double that.
I stopped on the way home at the gas station in the middle of 44 and got a Godfather's pizza because I was still hungry. You two let me down.
I did not get hungry that night.
Yeah, I left that restaurant still hungry, and you guys were both like, I thought you were kidding. No, I'm disappointed in both of you because we did not put away a lot of meat like I was anticipating. If you guys think that was a lot of meat, I'm sorry.
no, okay, challenge accepted, Andy. There's a Korean barbecue here in Tulsa. We'll go.
Okay, I think we should do it again. We didn't do justice to men everywhere. That's how I looked at it.
Okay, so 2 things. There's time constrictions.
Okay.
90 minutes. That's what you have from the time you order your first thing or you get charged again. And I'm not paying double that.
That's
for
true.
that.
It was pricey, so I get that.
And there's only so much cooking space.
That's true.
We were never
Yeah.
not cooking
There was meat on that grill 100%.
the entire time.
Also, I noticed you were eating lettuce and rice.
Yeah.
And did you? I can't remember where you were.
didn't touch
I ate
this.
meat.
Okay, I went full carnivore, and I when you said you were full, immediately I was like, it was the lettuce and the rice. What were you doing, man? You don't waste space on that stuff. But
I've had my fair share of Korean barbecues being Korean that I will push myself to where I'm miserable.
Yeah.
I felt fine. Like when we got back to the hotel, I felt fine. I didn't feel miserable. I didn't have explosive diarrhea. It was just I ate enough, and I'm trying to shed some lbs because there are young dads on the soccer team.
You keep
Yeah.
running. They keep fucking running.
So I didn't push it.
well,
Challenge accepted.
okay. Well, and also we can't keep talking about the young dads on the soccer team because Bob's older than both of us, and he also runs circle around us.
Also
So
very fit.
yeah, so it's just us being out of shape.
yeah, we just did this to
Yeah.
ourselves.
But I don't know. I get what you're saying on the timeline. I remember Kyle, at first you were like, I might be calling it quits. And you're smaller than us. You're equally small. But when you said that, I was like, all right, that makes sense. Kyle's out of here. It's me and Justin now. And like 3 minutes later, Justin was like, yep, I think that's it. And I thought you were kidding at first, and you were dead serious. I will say though, I wanted to walk out of there hating. Like I wanted to have to undo my belt to leave.
I wish I had known that was your.
That was my goal. I didn't eat all day in anticipation of this.
I was getting full, but I'm also aware that if we ordered more, we could have very well pushed that time limit.
Once you guys said the time limit, I understood more, but
That was my reasoning too. No, okay, we'll go to one and we'll just dominate that. Okay?
well, the one here in Tulsa I hear is a 2-hour time limit, so we might need
That's
that extra
fine.
30 minutes.
Well, they give you 2 hours at the table at the place we win as well, but you have 90 minutes to eat.
Gotcha.
Oh,
That's a rip. We need more cooking surfaces next time. So anyhow, it was a fun time, and
Yeah.
thank you for inviting me. I just thought we were there to put away meat. I misunderstood the point of the trip. I didn't know I was going with 2 women.
You did misunderstand the point of the
all
trip.
right. So,
Our wives were there. You weren't aware they were going.
I think they might have eaten more meat than
You
us, honestly.
literally went with 2 women.
Yeah.
so I go to Vegas tomorrow and then Kansas next week. The following weekend is your kid's birthday,
Yeah.
which we're not going to.
Her birthday's tomorrow, actually, but
Yeah.
due to soccer tournaments, we're having to push it like 2 weeks.
I'm not going to the party, by the way.
Okay, the birthday party?
Yeah, I'm
Don't.
having Magic Mike here. Magic Mike night.
What? Oh,
Play
Magic.
with-
Okay, got it.
With a friend named Mike. So my wife labels the calendar Magic Mike.
Just so we're all clear, if any of you don't come to any of my kids' parties ever, I'm going to respect that about you because I also might not show up to your kids' parties. So just so we're all clear.
Oh, you have shown up.
I showed up, yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't want to. If I'm there, I did it because I was pulled there by my wife. So yeah, don't ever apologize for not showing up to a children's birthday party.
Yeah, but I feel like it's also like, oh, I'm going to go hang out with Andy.
Yeah.
If you want to come on. But again, I'll never be like, you didn't come to my kid's birthday. Like that's not going to happen.
No.
Yeah.
But there's going to be a game on, and we'll be like, oh, I'm just
Yeah.
going to go hang out with Andy, have a couple drinks,
Kids will be
watch the game. Yeah.
Do it. You guys didn't show up for football Sunday yesterday, by the way.
You're right.
Okay.
That is true.
Yeah.
I made chili
Okay.
and we sorted out all the packing for Vegas and then did nothing.
Yeah.
I watched zero football and I think we ended up watching a series of movies. I don't even remember what they were.
To be honest, that was the first Sunday I haven't had anything in over a month,
Take advantage of that.
and Morgan is not feeling well. And it was like, so we made wings, smoked the cream cheese, made some dip, made homemade pretzel bites, and just like, this is as Sunday as we're going to get.
So my wife on Thursday was like, hey, if the soccer tournament does get canceled, let's just take it easy. Let's not have anybody
not
over for
do
football.
anything. Yeah.
Like, let's just sit. And I told her, I said, hey, I am all for that. Like, let's do it. And then on Saturday morning, she was like, ooh, I invited 2 of the neighbors over and the Campbells. So we need to go to the store. And I had to stop her. And I was like, you're the one that said. And she's like, oh, no, but I mean, we'll just have a couple people over. And then we ended up at Costco. And at one point I was like, the Rays and the Skinners might be coming. I have a sorry for last names. The guys from the podcast might be coming. I told them it's a standing invitation. So like, how much food do we need to get? So we left there with a crap load. We got food for the week.
I should have texted you.
No, again, it's just an open invitation. So come or don't come. But it was funny because I was very much like, this is going to be the first Sunday where I was going to lay down on the couch and stretch out and watch
I did.
football and maybe
A lot.
maybe fall asleep halfway through the game. Who knows? That might have happened. But no, it turned into so. She didn't complain about it. I told her right away. I was like, if come Monday, if you're telling me about how tired you are, like I ain't having this. But she hasn't done it yet, so I'll give her props for it. But yeah, it was
Because you've been here.
at least because of that, I did get confirmation on the SPL of the newborns.
Yeah.
So it wasn't a total loss.
Yeah, so I have no issue with the standing invitation. However, I always just feel weird about just going with the
You
standing
should just
invitation.
text me and say, "Are
No,
you watching
no.
football today?"
Standing invitation does not mean I have to text you. That just
Well, if
means
you
I
feel
show
weird
up.
about it, yeah.
That just means I show up. No, but it's like I'm waiting on a text in the SPL group chat. That is what it's called. I think I mentioned that earlier. SPL committee.
Yeah.
And I'm like, nope, nothing today. So I guess we're off the hook.
I'm definitely the weird one here, so I'm going to say that because I think I'm the one that's reading this wrong, but I'm going to stick with what I'm saying. Like my thought is like I said it's a standing invitation, so I don't have to invite them every week.
No,
I
and that's
already
what that
made it
means.
clear.
No,
Yeah.
you've made it perfectly clear.
And then
but
there'll be
at the same
times,
time,
but there'll be times where people are like, "Well, I didn't hear from you, so I didn't know." And it's like, "But this is a
that's
fucking
kind of what
standing
it, that's
invitation."
kind of what it. You know,
Yeah.
but you just
So
could
anyhow,
not be there. But I think we talked about it briefly on Saturday. I was like, "You going tomorrow?" I don't know. You going tomorrow? I don't know.
Oh, we had soup dumplings on Saturday.
No.
Dude, those things were...
good stuff.
Yeah. You sent, I didn't watch the video. You sent me a pizza.
We went up to Pawhuska to our favorite pizza place.
Oh, Pioneer.
Yeah, that's called P-Town Pizza. Solid. If you go to Pawhuska, you go to P-Town Pizza. Best pizza I've ever had. But yeah. Oh, dude, 100%. Like I don't say that lightly, but yes, P-Town in Pawhuska is solid pizza.
Is
It's
it wood up? Wood?
yeah, so they have a very impressive oven in the back that's kind of an open kitchen deal. And they have this thing called knot knots, Knot, knot knots, and they're garlic knots. They're heart attack, heart stopping garlic knots. They're covered in garlic and Parmesan cheese and butter, and they're the most delicious thing I've ever had. And we always get an order of those. And then when the pizza comes, we have very little room left from the knot knots, but solid stuff. So
Oh, I thought you liked to put away some meat from 20-year-old dudes.
I did get the meat lovers pizza.
20-year-old boys, sorry.
Yeah.
You did say boys.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that made it worse.
I just like the look. I don't like to touch.
Don't touch their knots.
Yep. So, anyhow,
Oh, man.
they're nuts.
Not nuts.
Yep. Oh man.
Oh, man.
Hey, so real quick, my buddy that I played disc golf with in Texas, not last weekend, the weekend before, he has a YouTube channel. He's got like around 1,000 subscribers. You know, he puts out some good content. I played around with him, and it's going to be on YouTube in the next week or two, so we'll have to cross promote. But I was talking to him. How would you guys feel about a disc golf tip of the week brought to you by him, where we could just splice it in at the end of the show? No.
I don't care.
Okay, I thought it'd be fun. But then when he comes to town, he could do film our round of us playing against each other.
We do need a person to film it. So
Yeah, he does good production.
Sure.
So we're gonna have a disc golf. This is gonna be brought to you by the disc golf tip of the week. No,
Sure.
you seem thrilled.
I mean, it's worth a shot.
Okay,
I'll try anything once.
yeah, I'm gonna have him film a couple for us. So
tip of the week.
Just the tip.
all right, that's all I got on disc golf. Everybody look forward to watching me get second place out of all my friends in disc golf. Love it.
Adam's family. And that's the end.
Yep. All right.
I feel like the second one was
It
perfect.
was a pleasure, everybody. Sorry, that was me signing off. What? No, I'm not going to say it because you cut it. Every time I say like, you cut it, like and subscribe. Some bullshit.